stand for that flag. Alrighty, time to bash the VA once again. Alright, I did a letter here to the VA. Alright, this goes back, anyway, this goes back quite a ways. Anyway, this is involving heart medications, okay? You have, up in Saginaw, you have Roland, who is a nurse practitioner, right? And nasty person, period. All right? Mean, nasty. When I originally went there, this might be in some of my other health videos, but anyway, when I originally went there, you know, you got to do a background. Well, I had stents put in, I had heart attacks, I had a Cabbage done, blah, 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 blah. So immediately, she was instantly, well, she didn't have heart attacks. Okay. And I really felt like saying, what the fuck do you know, bitch? How do you know what I had? I wasn't seeing you. I wasn't even up here in the Saginaw VA. I went to a real doctor. And the VA hates that when you say, well, I went to a real doctor. Because they're not real doctors up at the VA. They suck. Now I got it. Fabro, she's a real good doctor. So anyway, then she said, why'd you put stents in? Maybe because they had nothing better to do. They just figured, hey, you know what? Let's bring this guy in and throw some stents in. Why'd they do a Cabbage? It shows you the ignorance of people at the VA. Then another visit, I was talking about, you know, chest pain and feels like a fucking elephant standing on your chest, crushing you or whatever. And she threw her arms up in the air and said, well, you didn't have a heart attack, right? This is a bitch telling me what my body does, even though she doesn't know shit, okay? Then there's a blood thinner that I take, okay? It's expensive. But no, there's a blood thinner, Xarelto, I think it's called. I'm not plugging Xarelto. But anyway, it's a medication that I take, okay? So, Roland wouldn't give it to me, right? Typical her. So anyway, I fought with him and finally got her to prescribe it. Then there's another drug that I take for angina, Roxabin or whatever it's called. It's in the letter somewhere. Rant-VA. How the frick you say that, right? So anyway, it ended up where a regular MD filled it for me at the VA because Roland wouldn't do it. That's a life-saving medication that I'm on, right? Both of them. So anyway, each visit with this Roland character has been a horrible visit. I needed a new blood pressure cuff, okay, one of the visits. So I asked her for one. Yeah. So then she leaves the room, and I asked the nurse, I says, hey, is she going to give me a new blood pressure cuff or not? So she walks out in the hall, and she says, hey, you know, can I give him a blood pressure cuff? Real snotty. Fine, give him one, right? So when she came back in the room, the nurse came back in the room, I was like, so she's not just nasty to veterans, she's nasty to everybody. She goes, yeah. And I said, well, why don't you complain? One word, retaliation. So she can't complain. So anyway, so then there was another drug that I needed, and she goes, it might have been, yeah, I think it was still the blood thinner. So anyway, I secured messenger, told her I needed a refill on whatever drug it was. Her reply was, well, I don't prescribe that medication. You got to go to hemoteleology or whatever the hell it is. So I'm like, you're kidding me, right? So then I secured message to her back and said, your name is on the bottle. You know, right at the, roll in with the script number and all that. It's got her whole name in there. And I says, is that not you? Oh. So she refilled it. Then with the roxazolin, whatever it is, for angina. I went there, told her I needed a refill on that. Well, I'm not giving it to you. Snotty, of course. Well, I'm not going to give it to you. Because I could be held liable. Why are you even on it? And I'm like, okay, Fabro prescribed it to me. So obviously there's a letter in the system stating that I'm on that drug for angina, even though it says it on the label that I take that drug for angina. Well, I'm not going to give it to you. I could be held liable. She says, so anyway, bottom line, she wanted me to go to an outside provider, pay $125 for an office visit to get a letter from them stating that I'm on that drug for angina, right? How is that my responsibility to go get the shit? It shows you that these people at the VA are just so shitty. So then, not all of them. So anyway, then she says, well, she sent me to another argument. I told her one of the visits, I says, Heart Rhythmia of Michigan, they want to do a heart cath on me. And she goes, well, the VA's not going to pay for it. I'm like, you're the one that sent me there. No, I didn't. I would know if I sent you somewhere. Really snotty, just like that, raising her voice, arguing with me. So yeah, I came into the VA to see you, bitch, and I'm making up a story about you sending me over to Heart Rhythmia of Michigan to have a loop recorder put in. You're arguing with me about that you didn't send me there. Why would I make up a lie like that? So anyway, she stormed out of the room. I'm going to check. Stormed out of the room, came back in the room, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I did send you there. Okay, so now you have a doctor. Not a doctor, an NP, nincompoop. So you have an NP that doesn't remember sending me to an outside source that the VA, because she had to get approval from the VA before they would send me there. And anyway, I told her they wanted to do a heart cath. She goes, well, the VA is not going to pay for it. You're going to get billed for that. You're going to have to pay for it. One, it's none of your business, bitch. That's not your concern. Your concern is to do your frickin' job. But she doesn't. So anyway, the VA did cover the heart cath, of course. And so anyway, forgot where I was going with that. So anyway, she's just a horrible person, nasty person. So anyway, she checked and yeah, okay, I did send you there. So then I needed Roxazolin, whatever it's called. I needed that refilled. So I went to see her a few weeks ago, right? 2 or 3 weeks ago, your yearly appointment. And I've been avoiding it because I know the bitch is going to give me shit. So anyway, I go in there, said I need that refill. I'm not going to prescribe it to you. I could be held liable. You're going to be held liable if I die? She's not going to be held liable for anything. You can't sue the VA. So she says, well, I'll give you a 30-day supply and that's it. You got to go get the records from Heart Rhythmia of Michigan for the heart cath they did on you. And I'm like, that's not my responsibility. It's your responsibility to get it. No, it's not. So anyway, needless to say, I did not go to Heart Rhythmia of Michigan to get her a copy of the records because that's their job to do. I did not pay $125 to go out to an outside cardiologist or real doctor and give them a note, right? Like little kids. I got to get a note from my doctor. So anyway, I sent this letter. Here, it's a long letter. It goes all the way back, from when I first seen her. I don't know how long ago it was, but anyway, it's a full, 2-page letter. So anyway, I sent it to, I called the White House complaint line. They used to be good, now they're not so good. So I complained to them about it. Then I sent a letter to the VA headquarters. So anyway, they sent the letter to Saginaw, and some supervisor called. I don't even know who, she didn't leave her name on my cell phone. So anyway, she called, And then she called the other phone and got a hold of me. And she goes, yeah, she's got a letter that you sent out. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, kind of fill me in. I'm like, you have the letter in front of you, right? She goes, yeah. I said, did you read it? Yeah. And I said, that's all you need to know. I'm not going to be on the phone and go through all the same stuff that's in the letter. Just read the letter. So she goes, well, you know that drug is expensive. What the hell? That's not my problem. Just because it's an expensive drug, you low-life, scum-sucking, worthless pieces of shit don't want to give it to me? Like, you know, all these people at the VA, one thing that's really, not all of them, but the majority of them, one thing that really sucks about these people, they act like it's coming out of their pocket. Well, you know, I need a test done for this. Oh, no, it's too expensive. But the VA, if you actually look at it, the VA has more money than they know what to do with. That's why they're always buying new furniture for themselves. So they have plenty of money. They've even testified in front of Congress, different committees, about the VA funds. So they're not hurting for money. So it's not like, okay, well, it's an expensive drug, it's hurting for money. That doesn't make a difference. Prescribe the damn medication. So anyway, typical solution at the VA. Well, we have a NP that doesn't remember prescribing medications, doesn't remember sending veterans to an outside source. Okay? So either early stages of Alzheimer's or whatever. So anyway, she's definitely has issues. Okay, she shouldn't be seeing VA. So, you know, the supervisor just give me a song and dance. Bullshit. You know, kissing my ass. And she goes, well, you know, we'll switch you to a different provider. Yeah, that's a good solution. Rather than shit cannon an NP, and even at the bottom of the letter, okay, I even put, yeah, it is not, apparently I forgot one word. But anyway, it says it is dangerous and irresponsible to have an NP giving out medication when she does not even remember prescribing medications or sending someone to an outside source that she had to get approval for. Okay? So they just cover that over. That's extremely dangerous having somebody on like that. Denying me medication. First she denied giving me the blood thinner that I needed. Then she denied giving me the angina medication. How could somebody like that work for the VA? Because I cover it over. And the supervisor that I talked to, well, she's getting close to retirement. Fuck the bitch. She's not doing her job. If I hadn't have fought to get that medication, I wouldn't be on it. So I die of a heart attack because some bitch, worthless NP, doesn't want to give me the medications that I need, so they just want to kill you. And that's what the VA does. They don't care about you. You're a nobody. You're a peon. Every single veteran also is a liar. That's all you guys do is lie. You know? So anyway, Roland should not be able to practice at the VA, but typical VA, sweep it under the rug, let her get her retirement. She should lose her retirement. I mean, an NP that refuses to give you the medication, life-saving. It's not like blood pressure, okay, well, I'm not going to refill that. Your blood pressure will go up, you know, it could cause problems down the road, but who cares? A drug like that, who gives a shit, right? But an actual drug for your heart, that's what it's for. For your heart. It's not for anything else. Oh, I got pain in my knee. Take an ibuprofen. That's their cure-all for any aches and pains. So anyway, in the end, I finally did get, you know, the script for it. But it's just ridiculous. And I knew when I sent the letter out, I knew then that that's what would happen. That they would just sweep it under the rug and say, well, we'll switch providers. And that's what the VA does. They cover over people. And it's like they shouldn't do that. Veterans should get the best health care available. Instead, they hire quack doctors And I've never even, to be honest, I've been going to Saginaw for 4 or 5 years now, whatever, 4 years. I have never seen an actual real cardiologist up in Saginaw. Okay, it's always an NP nincompoop that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'll get this video uploaded with some other ones. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. So anyway, appreciate everybody watching this, and I'm sure there's more I wanted to say about it because the letter was, you know, a 2-page letter, but I can't really remember. I can look over the letter and see, but mostly I touched on it. And you know, a person like MP like her should not be working at the VA or anywhere for that matter. You know, she could prescribe somebody a medication and it could kill them. Well, we'll sweep that under the rug. You know, well, I'm not going to prescribe that medication. I don't care if you die. And that's their attitude. It really is. I've been going to the VA for several years, and oh, another thing I complained about, get it all in here, was mental health. So I complained to the White House complaint line. So anyway, Haley's supervisor calls me. She goes, well, you know, you called the complaint line. I'm like, yeah. And I says, for appointments. When I was seeing Angela at mental health, I was seeing her weekly. Not a problem. I was seeing her weekly. She always got me in weekly, okay? So then I said that to whoever the supervisor was. I wish I could remember the bitch's name. But anyway, she's like, well, you know, vacation in case of emergency. I said, no, I don't give a shit about vacations, emergency, you get sick or whatever. I says, I don't care about any of that. I said, I understand that. I says, but if you go back to when Angela left and I first started seeing Haley, you will see there's huge gaps. So anyway, so she gave me the song and dance, as they do. And I says, I am demanding to be seen every single week. I says, that shouldn't be an issue. Angela did it without any problems. I says, Haley hasn't done that yet. She keeps missing appointments, not making them for me. And I said, that's just ridiculous. Okay, I'll have a talk with her and we'll get this straightened out. Fine. Well, guess what? Two weeks later, once again, I didn't have an appointment last week. And this is after her supervisor talked to her about getting me in for appointments. So I didn't have an appointment last week, and then later in the month there's another appointment for a week that I don't have. So think about that. Snow you over, give you bullshit. I'll talk to her and get it straightened out. And immediately there's 2 appointments that she didn't make for me. And that's the kind of shit that you deal with at the VA. And when you're in mental health, it's imperative that you see people when you need to see them. Okay? Yes, there's times where I go in where I really don't need to see anybody. It happened a few times with Angela, and a lot of times I just didn't go, but I let Angela know. I secured messenger, told her, yeah, I'm doing pretty good, I don't need to come in. So they don't care about your health. You know, and with Haley, I even bitched at her the one time. She was saying, oh, well, what's upsetting you or whatever. I said, you know, I don't know what's fucking, I said just like that. I said, you want to know what's fucking pissing me off? I said, you. I said, I need to be seen every week. And I said, you're not doing it. I said, Angela did. So anyway, nothing was accomplished as usual. So I'll have to call the complaint line again, which I will do. I've called it several times. You know, it ruffles a few feathers, but nobody gives a shit, right? Nothing ever gets accomplished. But anyway, it shows you how shitty Saginaw VA is. Same thing goes on in Flint. Bunch of quack doctors down there. And then I moved my stuff up to Saginaw because that's where Michael was going. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. It's just ridiculous that the VA refuses to take care of veterans. They refuse to get rid of people that are screwing veterans over or that do not want to do their job. And how can a supervisor, well, I'll go talk to Haley and get this straightened out for mental health. Mental health, that's important, all right? It's like it keeps you from killing yourself or whatever, you know? So it's important to go to mental health and have those appointments. And now there is a girl there that if I need to really be seen, she calls me every couple of weeks. She's on the suicide prevention team, Lisa. So if I don't have appointments with Haley, then Lisa says, come in and you can see me. That shouldn't have to be, though. Okay? She should do her job. Haley should get me in every single week, and she doesn't. She doesn't give a fuck. Her supervisor doesn't give a shit either. Because otherwise, hey, this guy, we got a veteran here that called the complaint line in Washington, and they called me and chewed my ass. What is the problem? Why can't you get this guy in every single week? Do it. Get him in every single week. That's all that would have to be done. And already this month here, like I say, there's 2 appointments that I don't have. One was last week, and then there's one later in the month that I'm not going to see her. So how is bullshit like that helping veterans? It doesn't, because they don't give a shit, right? You know, President Trump had passed the Accountability Act, but you know what? Once he left office, nobody's accountable. You know, Haley shouldn't be fired, but she should get her ass chewed out and say, look, take care of these veterans. If they need to get them in, right? Don't make excuses. And, you know, the Roland, the NP, she's totally useless. Treats all the veterans like shit. Because I've talked to other veterans up there that see her. And she's just a nasty, mean person that, like I said, I swear she has Alzheimer's. Because she doesn't remember shit. Sending you shit. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner if you want to subscribe. Hit the little notification bell. And there you go. So I just appreciate everybody watching my videos. Thanks.